Things could not have gone much better since the Dubs elevated Bob Myers from assistant GM to the man in charge in Oakland in April of 2012. As he told TNT's Lewis Johnson, his journey from college player to agent to general manager, not possible without a helping hand along the way.
Connect the dots going forward. You can only connect them going back. I could ask you the same question. Say, how did you get to be sitting where you are, working where you are, and something seems like you really enjoy? Somebody helped you. Maybe it was your dad. You know, my basketball coach in high school, and then Arn Tellem giving me a chance to come work with him, and my brother telling me, don't row crew, it's too cold in the morning, go play, do something else. Steve Lavin, who said, why don't you try to walk on the basketball team? I mean, what did I do? I guess I worked hard. I kept at it. I don't know how we all end up anywhere.
Curry around Len, little teardrop is good. This team has one hockey assist after another. Play, open three, yes sir. On this team, perhaps the best collection of talent ever assembled.
You want to build something with people that are passionate about it, that really care about it, deeply care. I was talking to Kevin the other day and I said, you know what, isn't it great that you get to do what you love to do? He loves playing basketball. Forget about anything else, just the game of basketball. That's what you try to collect, is really passionate people that work hard and are humble. Humble people, in my opinion, are just better to be around. It's a great culture. Our coach has it, Steve Kerr, he fosters it. You watch us play, besides Charles, who doesn't, I heard, like the way we play. I think it shows humility, it shows a selflessness.
Kevin Durant, another guy that can just flat out score inside, outside, inside, it doesn't matter where.
What Kevin Durant does as a basketball player is so efficient.
Durant is blended in seamlessly. It will take a long time for the chemistry to develop here in Golden State.
You don't know how good a teammate someone is until they're in your locker room or in your practice facility. And Kevin is he's a heck of a teammate. He listens, he wants to be coached. You know, it's all good with him. Can't really find any problems with Kevin. He's a great person, and everybody knows how good of a basketball player he is.
I love going to work with you every day. I hope you are here as long as you want to be here, and you deserve this award.
I think the word that isn't used enough is partnership. You're a partner with your coach. He's trying to do what you're trying to do, but you're both necessary to get it done. I can go to sleep at night knowing he's doing every single thing possible to drive this car. You know, we try to build a car to give him, but he's driving it. And it's almost like you trust him and say, hey, you're the best guy to do this and win this race for us. We'll try to give you the best car we can, but you're driving it. That equity in the relationship, that foundation, I do think professionally helps us build a team that we can be proud of and go through it together.
He's the best three-point shooter in the history of the game. That was special. Good shot to great shot. Never a better example of Warrior basketball than right there.
Success is often equated to one team gets to hoist the trophy. We had to see it, 100 yards away from where we're sitting now. Another team do it on our floor, so that hurts. That should hurt, but that's motivating. To get to where we want to go, it's one practice at a time. It's one day at a time. It's let's find a group that loves what they do, that is willing to work really hard, and is focused on achieving the ultimate goal together. Let's do this together.
Well, I would say Bob Myers being a little bit humble when he talks about the fact, who knows how any of us got anywhere. You look at some of the moves that were made, and Bones really beginning with the drafting of Draymond Green. Every guy fits a specific role almost to a T for what this team collectively is doing.
Yeah, I might go back even further to 2011 when Bob was working as the assistant general manager under Larry Riley at that time, and the Warriors really made a massive trade, getting rid of Monte Ellis and trading him to Milwaukee to get Andrew Bogut, which really started this avalanche of moves to build the team that has done what it's done over the past few years, and now it's a different iteration this year. But one thing, I grew up with Bob. We both grew up in Northern California. We both grew up huge Warrior fans. And the interesting thing, similar to Luke Walton returning to the Lakers, is Bob's responsibility to the Bay Area and to make the Warriors a great team, a fun experience, but something that the Bay Area can be proud of, because that's where Bob is from. And I think you can see that in everything that the Warriors have been about, not just on the floor, but in the community, the way that they've changed around some of the things with the arena, the way that they go out and impact the community. How important that is to Bob is fascinating. And one other tidbit is Bob always makes sure that everybody within the organization is invested in what it is that they're doing. There are many times, and Bob's spoken about this, where he'll talk to people who take the tickets, or he'll talk to some of the vendors. He'll talk to the security guards about, how's the job? How are you doing today? You know, what's going on? Can we do anything better? And to have that sort of group around you, where it's not just people high up in the offices that think that they're doing everything and making things right on the floor. It's that everybody has a responsibility to the team. So Bob's done a fantastic job out in Golden State, and is really really one of the better guys in the league that you could be around.
You know, it's interesting, and I bring this up only because I just sat there and dealt with it, but I've known Theo Epstein about 15 years, and very, very similar in terms of all the things that you just discussed. I mean, certainly that's part of being a winner. I remember in covering the World Series, before a game at Wrigley Field, he had his 400 employees come out on the field with a lower third on the screen, on the big screen, the employees of the Cubs, and do a walk all the way around the stadium to kind of thank the crowd and vice versa. There's a caring and a culture that he has developed in Golden State that everybody has now bought into.
Yeah, and it starts with a championship goal and a vision for not just excellence, but reaching the ultimate prize there. And it's not something you show up in the playoffs and decide, okay, now we're going to win a championship. It's something you build from day one. And what did Bob say in that interview that stuck out to me? What did he bring to the table with all the mentors and the people that helped him along the way? It was just an attitude of hard work. And you know, Brent, you just shared the type of person he is and some examples that you gave of what he does on a day-to-day basis. And I can attest to that, because even sitting with him when they were on their first championship run and ended up winning it, they hadn't won it yet, and we were interviewing him. And he was in the midst of that interview, instead of celebrating the accomplishment to get where they were at, he was asking me about the Laker championship runs and what we did and how do we get to that point. And it just showed me right then and there that he was on this quest every moment of the day to make that organization better and not to rest in the laurels of what they've done. And as you see, you don't get a Kevin Durant without a really good pitch, right? And that organization, that culture you speak to, really is anchored in the vision they have, which is a huge part of his vision.
Yeah, and how much, I mean, aside from Bob now, because of what is established at Golden State, how much, Casey, does this help the Warrior organization when you move forward? I mean, I was drawn to San Antonio as a player because of what it is I knew about the culture there, and what about that experience that I could go there and be entrenched in that and learn from that and learn about the game is one thing, but just maybe more about yourself during that time. And Golden State has now built that same sort of mystique out in the Bay Area, where guys are curious. They don't know exactly what goes on there, but they know what goes on there is good for them and that they want to be a part of it. And there's this little hint of jealousy about the guys that get that opportunity. And if you have the chance to go there, your antennas may be up a little bit higher about that opportunity as opposed to somewhere else.